Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel, Do It Together 2022. This will be a product review of the ReliOn brand of diabetic products, specifically the Premier line. These products are carried at Walmart, and whether or not you like Walmart, almost everyone has easy access to one. That was pretty important to me to make sure that I had easy access to the products that I need. This is the ReliOn, and you can see up top where it says Premier right here. And this is a 100-pack of test strips. The cost for the 100-pack is just under $20 with tax. I notice that it's definitely less money than a lot of other brands of their test strips. These also come in a 50-pack, and they also come in a 25-pack. I buy these just because it's the easiest to buy. It's the most economical. You can see where it says 4 meters. So all the meters that it works with will be the Premier line of meters. So when you're buying these, you want to make sure that you're getting the products that work with each other. Especially at Walmart, any type of blood products, such as the blood glucose test strips, they are non-returnable. So if you buy the wrong ones, you're pretty much stuck with them. And you can ask the pharmacist there just to make sure. These are the ReliOn safety lancets. These are a little bit more expensive than regular needles. Regular needles, I think you can get a 100-pack, and the cost is around $2 with tax. The cost for these for a 50-pack, as you can see right here, is just under $4 with tax. So they're a little more expensive, and I'm going to tell you why I like using these. So they come in 2 different sizes, 2 different gauges. You can see here it's a 30 gauge or a 25 gauge. So if you have delicate skin or thin skin, you're going to want to use the 30 gauge 1.5 millimeter. If your hands are calloused or you just have a little thicker skin, you're going to want to use the 25 gauge 1.8 millimeter. And again, the cost for this is right around $4 for a 50-pack. Here's what the lancet actually looks like. So you would twist this cap off right here and then just pull it out. I'll have a link to a video of these actually being used on how to test your blood glucose. So you can just click on that link if you want to see it in actual use. This clear part right here is what you're going to press up against your finger. And once that depresses, there's a spring-loaded needle in here, and that'll actually come out. It'll pierce your skin, and then it'll automatically retract back into the base. So when you're done, you can just throw it in the trash. And because the needle is not exposed, there's no danger of anyone picking this up and accidentally getting pricked by the needle. Makes it very easy to use, and certainly easy to carry, and basically not have to worry about getting stuck by a needle. So that's one of the reasons why I recommend these. We're going to move on to the main unit, which is right here. It comes in a little carry case, which is pretty handy to have. And you'll see that here's the main unit right here. You can see I have some lancets in here, and this is the little area for your test strips. So it makes it nice to be able to carry everything. That Velcro's on, obviously, so it doesn't basically bounce around inside the pouch, or so when you open it up, it just doesn't fall out onto the floor. Here it is, the ReliOn Premier Blue. The blue means it's Bluetooth, so it will connect to your smartphone. There's apps that you can use for that, and I'll cover that a little bit later in the video. So the batteries go right here, and this takes 2 CR2032 batteries. They're like the round watch batteries. I've had this unit for about 10 months. I take on average probably 3 readings a day, and still the same batteries. So it's very good on battery life, and it's not something that you're going to have to worry about replacing frequently. You can see here's where you insert the test strip, and when you insert it, it'll automatically turn on. Again, I have a separate video of this being used, and that link is in the video description. So I'm going to cover some of the features of this. If you don't want to use the Bluetooth, or if you don't have a smartphone, or you just don't want to use it with an app, this can be used standalone, and it actually offers some pretty good features. So I'm going to start by turning it on. And that was the last reading that I had taken. And if you press this arrow, you can see there's the date and the time of the other reading, and another reading, and of course date and time. And you can see this is the previous day, what time, what my reading was. This will hold up to probably, I'm not sure how far it goes back. I know it goes back at least 6 months and literally holds like hundreds of readings. You know, so if you're not using an app and you just wanted to go back and see how your readings were day by day, you can do that with this. We're going to press the other arrow here, and this will actually give you your 7-day average. And you can see it's 18 readings, and that was my average. And then a 14-day reading, and again, gives you how many readings it's using for that average. And this goes up to 90 days. Once you press back, you're going to see now this is going to be before your meal, which is why it's a full piece of fruit. And again, that'll give you your averages. So you do have the option when taking your readings to do it as a pre-meal, which is before you eat, or post-meal after you eat. And I'll show you that. So you can see now it's an eaten piece of fruit. And that means, of course, after you've eaten, so you can track your blood sugar that way. Again, I use an app for that, so I just take the regular readings on here. I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to press the power button and the back button, and you can see you can actually set an alarm. You can set up to 3 alarms. So if you want a reminder that you need to take your blood sugar, this is definitely handy to have. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to press the power button and hold it. And that way it's going to turn off. So now I'm going to cover the app. Okay, so to cover the app, it's called ReliOn Life, and you can download that from the App Store if you're an Apple user, or from the Play Store if you're an Android user. I'll assume that both versions are the same. I am using an iPhone, so it may vary a little bit, but the app hasn't been updated in about a year. So for a basic app, it works well. There's an app that I use called Gluco. I will have a review of that app that's going to be coming soon, so you can look for that. Again, please subscribe to the channel and you'll get a notification of any new videos that are uploaded. You'll see at the bottom of the screen, it says My Day, History, and Profile. Profile, of course, you see that you would put in any of the information that you want to. You do not have to include all that information. Some of it's pretty helpful. Of course, you can put in the range of your glucose readings. So anything outside of that range, it'll either show you that it's low or high when you look at your history, which is where we're going to go to next. You'll see that at the bottom in the middle. And there's the history. So anything that's green means that you were within range. And so we're going to click on the 19th here, which has the red arrow. And you'll see my average reading was 169, and that's kind of you'll see the reading at 1425, sorry, I used military time. Shows that it was 180, and that's basically at the upper end of, for me, where I should be. Again, this is something you would consult your doctor about, and he'll tell you where your reading should be. So we're going to go back to the main screen here. And anything with a green check mark, of course, shows that it's well within range. And I'm going to choose the 22nd. And so you can see my reading. So, it's definitely a good thing. You want to see as many green check marks as possible. So when you go to My Day, and it'll show you your readings. Obviously, I've taken a couple of them today. And you can see activity. So if you click on your activity, it'll ask you if your activity level was low, fair, or high. And then, of course, you can put down any notes like, maybe you did some yard work or you went for a walk, whatever it happens to be. And we'll go back. And then, of course, there's also a tab for your diet. Again, if you're diabetic, you obviously want to pay close attention to your diet. But, everybody, maybe not everybody, most people at some point will kind of fall off, and maybe it's around the holidays or somebody's birthday, or it's a special occasion. Maybe you've just had a rough day, so you're going to eat something outside of the norm that you probably shouldn't. But this will also let you see what's happening with your blood sugar. So definitely a good thing to keep track of. And of course, then it also gives you for your mood. It's a good thing to keep track of these because you can really see how everything ties in together. Your activity level, how you were eating on a particular day, what your blood sugar was, and then how you were feeling. And over time, of course, that's going to help you really see, like, on days that you were really feeling good, the day immediately prior to that. That's probably something you want to keep track of. And over time, you can kind of change your diet and maybe your exercise level so you're always feeling good. Of course, that's the goal for pretty much everybody. And then here's your motivation. It's definitely a nice thing to have goals. And if you're recently diagnosed as diabetic, it can definitely seem a little intimidating because there's a lot of changes that it seems like you may have to make. What I've found is just making small changes and keeping track of everything really helps me out. So it's really hasn't been where it's required a huge change on my part. But again, it's an okay app. It's fairly basic, and it provides a little bit more information than what's available on just the meter. So if you have any questions about this, go ahead and leave that in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have. So one thing I would like to also cover on this is the calibration. There is a control solution that you can use to check the accuracy of not only the test strips but the meter. Definitely useful if you want to make sure that it's accurate, or if you just happen to be getting some readings that are maybe outside your normal range, whether low or high, and you really haven't changed anything and you're thinking maybe it's the meter that's off, or maybe the test strips, that particular batch isn't reading accurately. They do have a control solution to check that. Unfortunately, I was unable to find that control solution anywhere. I checked online. I spoke with the pharmacist at Walmart as well as other pharmacies. Most pharmacists were aware that there's a control solution. Nobody seemed to be able to tell me where I might be able to find that. So I actually contacted ReliOn directly, and they actually sent me the small bottle of control solution. And they sent me this 100% free of charge. They covered the shipping also. They basically asked me for my name and address, and I received this the same week that I spoke with them. So they were very responsive. It's definitely a nice thing to know that there's a company that stands behind their products and wants to help their customers. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments. I will do my best to answer those as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.